Grab your Mohs hard disk scale, Wargamers, because today we are still on the planet of the Psychic Space Dwarves, hence all of the crystals that you see on our battlefield. Let's discuss terrain first. We have a couple of low hills that block line of sight until you're up on them. The piles of broken sea glass here, by the way, $5 for a whole big bag of this works great. The big piles block line of sight and you can't move through them. They are at either side of the hill to kind of help you understand where the contours are. There, and here is a ridge. And then over here is a crystal lake that's frozen over. That's difficult ground. If you run or sprint across it, you have to make a toughness check of 10, an agility check, or you fall down, go boom at the end of your movement. We also have a bunch of small crystals that provide cover, and you cannot move through them, but you can see over them. They don't block line of sight. A couple of giant crystals over there do block movement and line of sight, and as do the vehicles. Now, to set the scene for you, we are going to be playing our very first game of Rogue Stars by Osprey Publishing. And specifically, we're going to be playing the duel scenario, where the two leaders start 8 inches apart in the center of the board, and the rest of the crews are on their respective baselines. I have also included the addition of a couple of vehicles, one for our heroes, the crew of the Blackraven, and over here is a truck. I'll get a little closer and show you that. That is for Agent Spliff and the Team Satyr, his security team that he's brought along for the ride. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at Agent Spliff, and we're going to be moving the camera in and out, show you where everybody is, but it'll always be facing that direction. So we're looking at things from the perspective of the crew of the Blackraven. So zooming in, we have our leader, Agent Spliff. Now he's going to start off the duel with Cobalt 15, the captain of the Blackraven. He's got 3 pistol-wielding security officers, 1, 2, and 3. And then here in the middle is a security officer with basically a riot shield and a bonker. So he's a lot more heavily armored, but he doesn't have a missile weapon. These guys are just shooting with the pistols. Their exit point is going to be this ride over here. It's not enough just to leave the table. You got to drag your wounded onto the bus and then book it on out of there. Pulling back to take a look at the crew of the Space Raven, or the Blackraven. Way over here on the left-hand side of the board is Poultry Joe. He's wielding an assault rifle, and he can fly 8 inches, so the terrain won't block him. If we slide on over to the right side, you can see Cobalt back here. And over on the right-hand side of the board, you can see essentially what's happened here is Cobalt agreed to meet with Spaceman Spliff, and he said, "Well, Magic Space Baby, I don't know no Magic Space Baby." And Spliff said, "What are you talking about? I can see him right over here." At which point, Cobalt turned around and says, "Lieutenant Dane, my sharpshooter, you're supposed to stay in the car with the Magic Space Baby." Whoops, we just tuck him right back there. So he's going to be lugging Magic Space Baby around. And then what Spliff doesn't know is that Cobalt hired a couple of goons, a couple of local thugs. These are the Cowboys, and they're wielding big guns. Now, these guns are heavy, but I bought strong for these big boys, so they can carry them as though they were light. Essentially, for half the price of big, all it does is let them carry and wield these big two-handed guns as though they were a regular assault rifle. So these are some heavy hitters, and right now, neither Spliff nor his bros can see these guys. They're only worth 26, and just so we're clear, we're looking at a total of about 201 points for the Blackraven and about 160 to 170 for the Star Cops on the other side. It's all right. Star Cops don't have to play every battle. These guys do. So if they have a couple of extra points, it'll be okay. So with 3 actions, he's going to use one of his Move It tokens so that he can walk 3 inches. And that's going to put him just 5 inches away. It also gets him up on the hill, so there's no more cover for being on the opposite side of the hill. So he's now in short range. He's shooting a pistol, and he's aiming with 1 action. So altogether, he needs to roll a 9 in order to hit. And with a 17, he gets a hit. Now the pistol does 4 damage, and because it's a laser pistol, it has the tag blind. With a success of 8, Spliff gets to choose any hit location he wants. He's going to choose head, obviously. So now Cobalt has to roll for damage, and so he rolls a 6, and you modify that by the attack's damage, so it becomes a 10, and then you subtract your armor value of 3, that becomes a 9, and anything else. Armor, level of tough, he's not tough, so on a 9 he gets 1 pin, 1 wound, and serious damage. Because it's a serious wound to the head, Cobalt goes knocked prone. Then he has to pass a toughness number 10 endure roll. This is a straight roll for him. It's actually -1 to the roll, so he's got to roll an 11 or better. And with an 11, he succeeds. So he's not out of action yet. This is his last chance. And that's it for Cobalt's turn. Since he's down, the Space Cops now have the option of activating anybody else they want. Of course, they're after the Magic Space Baby, so they're going to do that. We're actually going to start with Spliff here. He is kind of a sitting duck where he's sitting right now. So we're going to try to take 2 actions with him. And with a 15 and a 10, we're able to take 1 action, and then that is Lieutenant Dane has a shot. In order to take that shot, he has to react, and because he's a veteran, he reacts on a 9+. 13 means he gets to take the shot. The shot with a laser rifle is at 17 inches, so every 4 inches beyond 12, or a fraction thereof, so he's at a total of -3 thanks to the range, but he's a marksman too, so he is only at a -1, which all adds up to needing an 11 in order to hit. Dane rolls a 5, and that's not going to cut it. He does get a 1 pin. I'm putting all my markers over on the character sheet. You're going to have to either keep score at home, or just trust me on that. Which means he can now move, and he's going to retreat back to here. He is fast too, so if he runs, he can actually run a total of 6 inches without any issues. He doesn't want to quite go that far. He's going to pull back to about here so he can get beyond that hill and take up a position. Then we have a couple of guys over here. So we'll try and activate, actually we'll activate this guy first since he's closer. We want to kind of bring them all up at once. And these guys now, I have a cowboy that can see him across the table, but all he can do is move. So that cowboy reacts on a 10, and he fails. So the next thing is to go ahead and bring that pistol man up. He does take 1 stress for that, and he's going to go ahead and sprint to there. This guy is going to follow suit. He rolls 2 dice, and now these guys are green, so they only activate on a 10, but he got it. And he gets 2 actions, so he's going to do the same. He's going to run up to here, and then he'll run up a second time to get as close as he can, as fast as possible. Then we'll check for this pistol packing mama, and she gets 1 crit and 1 failure, so she can take an action. But before she does, now it's time for good old Cobalt to try and steal. Well, here, we'll leave that 20 here just so we remember what's going on. Cobalt can try to steal the initiative back. And because these guys have taken a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he only needs to roll a 9 in order to take the initiative. And because it's a critical failure, he gets a +2, so he just needs a 7. And with a 6, he's not going to do it. So she gets to take an action, and she's going to run up this way. And because of that critical success, she could either roll and take another action, or she can do that without gaining any stress. We're going to do that. Then our last pistol pack and Mama is going to try to go, and again with 2 actions, a 5 and a 6 is 2 failures, and that gives Cobalt 2 chances to try to steal the initiative back. This time, because of that extra, we're actually at, wait, she moved, so we're at 8 on this check, so he just needs to roll a 9 or better. And on one of them he does, so he has stolen the initiative. We'll start with the big guy. Now he is a hero, so he activates on a... first of all, I should point out, these guys are cool under fire, so I have 8 tokens I can use to remove pin markers. We did that. He is now activating on a 5+. And with 17, 11, and 20, we're going to take that 20 to stand up without earning a stress. And then we are going to sprint 2 times. So he can move a total of 12 inches in a straight line, and that's where all these little gems get to be an issue. Fortunately, he's far enough away. He can go 6 and 6 to here. And you can see Cobalt is right down here. He is right next to the escape vehicle, takes an action to get in. We're going to try to bring Poultry Joe over, and he is going to activate on. Now, Poultry Joe is a veteran, so he has a +1, so he activates on a 9, and we're going to try twice. We get a 14 and a 16, so he can run, well, he can actually fly 8 inches, so he's got a total move of 16. The first 8 takes him to there, and the second 8 takes him to there. He earns 2 stress markers for that. And then we are going to get Lieutenant Dane. Let's slide you over here so we can see the whole crew. Now, Lieutenant Dane is going to try to hustle the Magic Space Baby into the vehicle. He's going to take 2 actions. And with a 16 and a 10, he is successful on both of those. He is also a veteran. So with both, so he's going to use 1 action to move here and a 2nd action to get into the vehicle. Now whatever happens, they're at least going to get away with the Magic Space Baby. The next thing we're going to do is try to activate our boss man. Now he is at +3 for hero, -2 for the 2 stress markers that he has. So he needs a 9 or better. And on a 2 he doesn't get it. We're going to have Thumper here, has a clear line of sight. So he's going to try to take an action. And with a 5 he fails. Then we're going to try to bring, let's go ahead and put, since he's wounded, let's try to put him in the ride. He takes, oh, I'm sorry, that's his 1 action. He gets in. But the stress markers are still there for the purposes of securing initiative. The Poultry Joe is going to try to get in. And with a 14 and an 11, remember he has 2 stress markers, but he's a veteran, so he activates on an 8. Add 2 is a 10 on a 9, so he gets 2 actions. He jumps in. And all of our named characters are in now, so we just need to try to get these guys in. And we'll start with the first cowboy. He activates on an 8 or better. On a 13 and a 17, he's going to move 6 inches to here, and he's going to hop in. So there's just 1 more to go. And any failures that he notches, now he doesn't have any stress markers on him yet. But we have a lot of stress markers down here. We have a lot of stress markers down here on the table, so we're going to try all 3. Now, we'll go ahead. You need to stop. He's going to try to make 1 action. No, he's going to do 2. And with a 3 and a 20, he can wait and see how they react. Thumper, we've got 1 guy that has an opportunity to steal the initiative away. I'm not sure what happens with a critical when you've got this situation. I'll ignore it, check the rules, we'll get it right next time. For now, we're going to try to see if we can put him out by stealing the initiative. And as I said, it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. So we just need a... and I think that is an additional +3 because Spliff over there has a leadership of 3. Spliff over here has a leadership of 3, so that means we're looking at a total bonus of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. So he just needs to roll anything but a 1 or a 2, which he does. And now they have the initiative. We remove all pin markers from the crew of the Blackraven. We're going to take 3 actions with Spliff to start out, since he has the most hope. And with a 3, 5, and an 18, we only get 1 action. That gives him 2 chances to react. He doesn't have any modifiers, so he just straight up reacts on a 10 plus. And with a 1 and a 17, he gets, what is a critical failure on reaction? He loses hidden, so he's a sitting duck, but he does get 1 action. So he's going to use that action to move 6 inches. So everybody gets a +1 to shoot at him now. But he moves. Oh, he still has 2 more actions to get in there. And then Spliff is going to go ahead. He's going to sprint, and he's going to add that extra inch because these guys are boogity. So Spliff can get to there. And bit of a running match here. He's also going to run over. He's going to take 3 more. Oh, he has 3 stress now. So he activates on 11s. And with 18, 19, and a 2, he gets 1 chance to move closer. A 9 is, oh, he acted once. He activates on a 9, so he can get close to the door. But that's it. That means Spliff can make 2 more actions. He'll spend an inch to close to run 7 to get to there, and then he'll use his next one to take a shot. Now this is an evens. It's only 5 inches, so it's not short range or anything like that. And we gotta go through all of our modifiers. He is going, I think he just needs a 10 to hit this fella. He's doing 1 shot. The target is not in any kind of a cover. You know, this is too far away. We should have kind of tucked him in there, but we didn't, or he would have moved elsewhere, so it doesn't matter. So it's just a 50-50. He's going to fire off, and with a 20, he succeeds by 10, so that's another headshot. Now, the headshot, we're going to roll a d20 for damage. We get a 10, which becomes a 9 because he's tough. But I don't think, yeah, he's not wearing any armor. So that 9 becomes 1 pin, 1 wound, 1 serious damage. And again, a serious damage means he's knocked prone and he has to pass a toughness roll 10 or go out of action. He rolls a 12, modified by 1 for his toughness becomes an 11, so he does pass. So he's not out of action yet, but he does take the 1 pin and he's prone. No, that's it. The headshot is just knocked prone. Oh, but right. 1 pin. Okay, I got it wrong. It's +1 because of his toughness, so the 10 becomes an 11. You want high in this case, which means he takes 1 pin and a light damage, which is knocked prone, pass an endurance of 5, or go out of action. So all it is 1 pin, and again, since these guys are cool under fire, we're going to ignore that. And that is it for his first 3 actions. Now we're going to, I mean, he might as well just sit there blazing away. We'll go ahead and try to take 2 more activations. And we get it, oh, I need a better rolling surface. We'll call it a 15 and an 11. The 11, I think, is a failure. Let me check some modifiers here. Nope, he gets 2 actions, so this time we'll take an aimed shot. Now, he's not going to call the shot. He just needs to roll a 9 or better this time on his shot in order to hit. And with an 18, he hits with a difference of 9. That is going to be the one. With a difference of 9, that is going to be another headshot on the hit location. Well, wait a minute. No. Yeah, that's a headshot. And then, oh no, he's prone. Oh, wait a minute. Prone is a thing here. He really needs to roll an 11 in order to hit. It's -2 for prone, +1 for aiming. Needs an 11. Rolled an 18. That is a difference of 7. So he can choose torso, arm, or leg. And we'll go ahead and choose torso. So for damage, we roll a d20. So we take that 14. We add 4 for the pistol to get an 18. Oh, we subtract the 4 to get a 10, and then we add 1, so the final result is an 11. Okay, the damage of the weapon is subtracted, because as the attacker you want to roll low. So that 14 becomes a 10 for the pistol, and then an 11 because this fella's tough, and that is 1 pin and a light damage. Since he succeeded by 7, he hits him in the torso. Light damage on the torso. Cool under fire, no pin. Light damage on the torso is the only effect, and that is 1 additional pin, so we'll get rid of that too. He is now down to 4 pin checks, and that is the end of his turn. And now he's going to go ahead and take 3 more actions to try and really put this Bullman down. He has a critical failure. So Bullman is going to try to take the initiative. Everybody else is off the table. So Bullman here is going to take the initiative on a 16, an 11, but also he gets +2 because of the critical failure. So he needs a 9 or better, and he gets a 10. So he does steal the initiative. Now he's got to remove stress. He's got to take all 3 actions. And we get a 13, 11, and 3, so he does get 1 reaction. And with a 1, he fails, and he does not get to react. On a critical reaction failure, he becomes a sitting duck, so the next shot at him is going to be a +1. Doesn't matter. He gets the 2 actions that he needed to stand up, get in the vehicle, and then we just need 1 more action. Critical success. Look at that big bad 20. And the crew of the Blackraven is able to then escape from their brush with the law. And that concludes our first playthrough of... what is this game called? And that concludes our first playthrough of Rogue Stars. Not terribly complicated, just a simple shooting match and a quick retreat by the crew of the Blackraven. Spliff is got to be disappointed with that result. He would at least like to put down one of the members of the crew. Space Baby got away, and because the Blackraven all escaped. Now, he would get 5 XP, but we're not really doing a traditional campaign, so we won't worry too much about that. Because the Blackraven escaped, all the wounds are going to be healed. It's not going to be an issue. They're going to get Marion back. So they're going to thank the Cowboys for their service and try to get off this planet in one piece. They're going to have another mission to actually get to the spaceport. They're going to have to run a bit of a gauntlet. Before we close out for the day, I wanted to show you one thing. This is a nice little vehicle from Alternative Armies, as is this figure. I think he's part of the Ion Age line. I think he's a nobleman of sorts. I really like the cartoonishly large pistol. It makes it easy to see, even at 15 millimeters and even at a distance. This... I don't remember what the license plate says on that, but this little vehicle is from Alternative Armies. I think it's from the Ion Age. It's a nice little sculpt, but I really wanted to show you how I do my hoverboards. You see this little guy here? Looks like a stand built for miniatures. It's actually a hook that comes with double-sided tape that you would stick onto a wall to hang up clipboards or what have you. But I noticed it's clear, it's acetate, so we can it matches whatever the ground pattern is, and when you pull back from the table, it gives that nice little shadow underneath to really make it look like it's hovering. So if you're looking for a cheap and inexpensive, I think like $3 you get like 6 of those. Might even be cheaper than that. You can get them at any home office supply store, probably even if you look in the office section at your local big box retailer like Target or Walmart has those. Just look around. There's a lot of different sizes. I got pretty much the smallest one, and it works perfect. So if you're looking for a hoverboard, I probably need one more of these for the Space Turtle, the Astra Tortuga centerpiece of the, what do you call it, the lobby there at the spaceport. But if we get down right next to it like so, you can see it's just the perfect height. So take a look for those, add it to your own toolkit, and we'll see you in a couple of days. Until then, I'm praying for you.